I think I haven't had anybody, any club in my career who's been so good to me, and I will remember it.
Oh yes! Zola!
Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge for the final pre-season game, for the first match here at home under Jose Mourinho's management, and most importantly for the Gianfranco Zola tribute match. He was a substitute, but at the beginning of the game, easily the most emotional atmosphere I can remember, and I had the privilege of calling him out on the pitch. Ben Andrews and Eddie Newton watched.
What a day we've got for this rather unique occasion. It's a bit of business and a bit of pleasure for Chelsea as they gear up for Manchester United next Sunday, while celebrating the contribution of a genial genius. Franco Zola will have appreciated the entertaining football we've seen from Jose Mourinho's Chelsea so far, and this is the team that's looking to add to a tally of 10 goals scored in the warm-up games to date. Is this the team that'll face United next Sunday? Well, probably not, but it looks to be pretty close. Celestine Babayaro comes in for the injured Wayne Bridge. Damien Duff takes his place in midfield diamond, with Arjen Robben still nursing the knock that led to Matthias Kesman's dismissal against Roma. Kesman himself is on the bench today, and with a suspension likely to follow, Drogba and Gudjonsson would appear to be the pairing that will start here this time next week. Not too many household names in the Zaragoza lineup, but keep an eye out for Savio on the wing and David Villa up front. He's their main man. Eddie Newton alongside me. This is a special day for a special man.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great man, great player, great ambassador of the game, and very much looking forward to this game.
So here we go. This is the Blues' fifth and final pre-season outing. With injuries and possible suspensions, you've got to think there's at least maybe a couple of first-team places still up for grabs, and maybe, Eddie, that competition for places is exactly the factor that might propel Chelsea to bigger and better things this time around.
Well, now Chelsea's a big club, and there's always going to be competition at a big club. As Jose has said, he wants two players in every position, and he's looking forward to some good competition all around the pitch.
And that's something he's certainly got, and perhaps the likes of Arsenal and Man United haven't gotten. They've got a couple of notable people out for a while. Sol Campbell at Arsenal, Ruud van Nistelrooy at Man United. It could maybe hand Chelsea an advantage early doors.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a good start. It's nothing wrong with getting a good start in the Premiership, and hopefully...
Great long ball there, sorry to interrupt us. Shot comes in from Duff, a raking ball from Gala, 70 yards upfield.
Not a bad ball at all. Great ball, great searching ball. Duff's taken it well, first touch, great first touch. Unfortunately didn't get the finish that he wanted.
Comfy save for Garcia in the end. He's a new signing from Numancia for the Zaragoza side. It's Babayaro. Eddie, you were saying Man United and Arsenal.
Yeah, Man United and Arsenal, they're not as strong as Chelsea at the moment, and it'd be good to get a good start and get us propelled into the Premiership, into the new year, and get a good advantage going into the Christmas period.
I think that one even got onto the field of play at any point, so we'll have another go at it. Well, you've met this man, Jose Mourinho, Eddie. You're part of the academy set up at Cobham. What have you made of him so far?
Very professional guy. I briefly met him. I've been actually helping out with the youth team at the moment because there's no coach at the moment. But he's a very professional man. As everyone has heard how he set his stall out already.
Meticulous, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very meticulous, and he makes sure everything is done, and the players are responding to everything that he's doing. So it's looking very good thus far, as you saw in the US tournament. And I'm sure the fans as well as me are looking forward to a great season.
Johnson just about slips it through the Lampard. He's got Jeremy out on the right, where he's been excellent throughout pre-season. He's been in pretty much every lineup so far, and he had a great game against Oxford, which I think was a game you saw at him. Jose Mourinho singled him out for praise there. He's been playing well, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy's been playing well, and it's good for him because he found it hard to fit in last season. He didn't particularly do what everyone expected of him last season, but he's come in and he's had a great pre-season, so that's going to give him a great boost for the future and for future games.
There's Makelele at the base of the diamond that Mourinho favours.
I think already you're seeing that, it's a patient game that Chelsea are built playing with. With this diamond shape, you've got to be very patient, not forced to play. And I'm sure the Chelsea punters are going to see a lot of attractive football this season.
It's a nice ball through there. Lampard doesn't beat Garcia to it in the end. He's obviously a key factor in this Chelsea side, the new vice-captain, Frank Lampard. Your sort of player, I'd have thought.
No, he's a very, very, very good footballer. He's a very direct player. He knows what he wants. He's a very professional man as well, and he wants to be on the pitch all the time. He doesn't want to rest. He wants to play, and he's seeking the benefits from it. Again, he had a first hard season coming over to the club, but he's doing really well.
Terry's long ball doesn't quite find Didier Drogba, the record signing, and a bit of defending here for Peter Cech. That's another really difficult position, the goalkeeping question. Another 50-50 shout, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's good. It's all good for Chelsea. It's all good for Chelsea. If the best man's always in the position, then you're going to get a good performance. And Jose's made it quite clear that he wants to put out his best 11. So, everyone's fighting for places. Training will be good, games will be good, and he can only be good for Chelsea Football Club.
Zapatero, central midfield for Zaragoza, and Soriano. Toledo's ball in, but that's not going to trouble anybody. And Peter Cech rolls out to Damien Duff, who's had his first chance to open his legs perhaps and run at this Zaragoza side. But it's thwarted though by Zapatero. Pretty no-nonsense stuff out the back there. Johnson coming deep as he has been all pre-season and seems to be loving that role, and he's really thriving under Mourinho. Funny really, after perhaps the beginning of last season people thought he might be someone who might be on his way out with the likes of Crespo and Mutu coming in, but now his case seems stronger than ever. Because Johnson is on every team sheet.
Yeah, that's football for you. 1 minute you could be out, you're seeing your way out of the club, and then there's a change of manager and that manager really likes you, and then all of a sudden you're propelled to the first pick. That is football. That's how football can very quickly change. But I think that situation of him coming deep suits him, like the Teddy Sheringham role, where he comes deep. Defenders, midfielders don't want to go and pick you up, and he's getting a lot of pleasure from that position. And with his talent, with his feet, he'd be able to pick out oncoming midfielders and slide through balls for his other centre forward.
And he started 17 games last year, Good Johnson. He still managed 13 goals in all competitions, but he's been given a new contract. Only 1 year after signing an agreement last summer, he's been given another one, so he's obviously highly valued. And he's been made one of the, I don't know what we're going to call them, marshals. Under Frank Lampard was made vice-captain, and Makelele, Good Johnson, Babayara and Cudicini were all put on a sort of players committee. Here is Good Johnson now. Can he slip Drogba through? Very nearly. So yes, he's obviously highly rated by Jose Mourinho.
Well, I think it's another way of Jose Mourinho playing with people's minds, making sure that they feel comfortable at the club, they feel part of the setup, they have their say, and it all goes towards team spirit.
Savio, the former Real Madrid man. Champions League medal in his cabinet, but it's lost out there, and Lampard's done well to find Johnson. Gabriel Milito forces the throw for Chelsea there. Not really chock full of stars, the Zaragoza side. They came 12th last year in the Spanish League, but they did win the Cup. They beat Real Madrid, so they've got European competition coming up this season as well. And as you've heard, they've played 2 games rather this week already on tour. Bolton and Watford, they won one of those, drew one of those, but they seem to have brought a big enough squad with them.
Well, as Ron says, the best way of getting fitness as a club is playing matches, not training. It's playing matches. That's where you get your real fitness.
Duff with the ball in. Almost finds Johnson via perhaps a touch off the top of the head of Gabriel Milito, and it looks like the ball's been kept in play. And the ball comes in from Ferreira this time, and surely it's in! Didier Drogba! 8 minutes in, he's got his first goal at the bridge. It's his third in only 3 games. And this could be the start of something beautiful, Eddie Newton.
Yeah, it was a great finish, well taken. Good ball in from Ferreira. Well taken, nice and cool, nice and calm. And a good finish. Good build-up play all the way round.
Paulo Ferreira was bought as a player who really likes to gallop forward and whip the ball in, and the prospect of him and Bridge doing that simultaneously really is something that Chelsea fans can get quite excited about, I think.
Yeah, well, they're in this diamond shape. When the midfielders go inside, you know, it urges the full-backs to go on and go down the wing and get crosses in for their forwards and oncoming midfielders.
So you're effectively playing almost something like 2-6-2 there, really.
Yeah.
You've just got your centre-backs back there and bombing full-backs.
Yeah, the formation just gives you triangles and diamonds all over the pitch, and it's just really hard to pick up players when they're on the ball, no matter which team you're in. So it's really an effective system.
What a wonderful start to Stamford Bridge life for Didier Drogba. Scored against Roma, scored against Milan, and now he's got one here against Zaragoza, and the home fans are going to like him pretty quickly.
It's not a bad start, is it?
Said he felt no pressure after a £24 million price tag, and that was nothing to do with him, and I suppose he's right, but club record signing. Now, perhaps a chance for a counter. Savio and Oscar Gonzalez combining, and now Fernando Soriano, but Jeremy's dispossessed, and Drogba with a chance to break here. Johnson charging forward ahead of him. This ball's just behind Duff. And Milito can clear for a Chelsea throw, but they're looking confident.
A great break from the back there. You can see if they can build on what they just produced there.
Spaniards struggling to get the ball out of their own half at the moment, but might be able to do it now. Ruben Gracia finds Luciano Ponzio. Uncharacteristic little slip up from John Terry there, but that's a no holds barred challenge from Chelsea's longest serving player, Celestine Babayaro.
Great tackle from Baba. Great tackle. No nonsense. That's what we like to see.
Joined in April '97, not long before man alongside me scored a cup final goal.
Yeah, very young man coming in, but he adapted to the English game very quickly and done very well.
Nearly 200 appearances later, he's still here as we watch this Zaragoza free kick, which is just about dealt with one way or another from Chelsea. There's been a few question marks over the set-piece defending, and most of the goals they've been conceding in pre-season have come from that. So that's something the manager said he really wants to work on, because it's same old story really, happened a lot last year as well.
Well, you got a lot of young new signings, and you know, you know, we've been working on the system quite a lot, most probably. And you know, when it comes down to defending, it's a bit of players understanding where other goes and who's going for the ball and who's not going for the ball. And this is something that they've got to work out on the training field and just iron out the creases. Everything's not going to come together straight away, and that's all part of being a manager and getting things going again on the training field.
Neat skills from Savio, the Brazilian. Zapatero, the anchor man in midfield, finds Ponzio. That's not going to reach anyone, bar some Chelsea fans on that far side. Drogba still battling to win that ball back, and Lampard goes high with that slight miss kick, which Damien Duff might be able to get hold of, but he concedes the throw. Now, Heidegger Johnson's playing in a role that Zola would have liked himself, I suppose.
Oh, it would have suited him down to a T, Zola playing in that role. I'm sure there's a few defences and a few midfielders that wouldn't have liked going in there and picking him up. It would have been ideal for him. But Chelsea are looking very strong at the moment. When they haven't got the ball, they're looking very compact as a team, and when they're breaking well, nice and sharp and fluid passing.
This is Alvaro up for the back, but he's dispossessed well by Drogba. He's working hard, and Lampard finds Johnson. You just fancy Franco might want to impress the manager. It's not like he's playing for a place or anything, but you can see him coming on and turning on the star, can't you?
Well, Franco, he can only play one way. He only knows how to play one way. He's going to come on and do what he does naturally. That's what his game's all about. It's instinctive football, and I'm sure he'll be impressing a few people out there.
Now, Zaragoza with a chance to break. Haven't seen much of them as an attacking threat so far. David Villa's not going to get on the end of that one.
Yeah, Chelsea looking very comfortable at the moment. Just hope they don't get complacent. It's very hot out there, so they're not overextending themselves, making the ball do the work. And you know, hopefully we can build on it and get another goal.
Just got a shot of the old and the new there. Franco obviously enjoying what he's seeing, but he'd love to be out there for all 90 minutes. But this does have two purposes, this game. More good defensive work from Babayaro. We obviously presume Wayne Bridge will start after having such a good season, but it's good to know you've got someone as dependable as Baba there behind him. As
Jose's already stated, that he wants two players in every position, and he's got two very good left backs there, so he can rely on, with suspensions, injuries, he's got another fullback to come in of very high quality.
Can go both ways as well, Babayaro. Him and Graham Lasso used to swap around a lot at left back and left midfield, and seemed really quite interchangeable.
Yeah, he can play all along, up the left-hand side. He can play right along it. He's very talented going forward, and he's very good defending. So, you know, you can play in midfield, and he can play at the back, and he can even play as a wide fullback, attacking all the time.
What about this opening game then, Manchester United next Sunday? Do you want it so early on in a season, or is it something you like to build up to as a player?
It's something you'd really like to build up, but it's come. Everyone knows what they're going to get. They've had more than enough preparation to, you know, to see the players that are there, and they know the players that they're playing with now. And you just got to get on with it. You're a professional. Man United, what a great game to start the season off with, especially for the fans. And it's a good marker for all the teams to see where they're at. basically, at this stage of the season.
Plus, of course, it gives you such a boost going into the next ones, and Chelsea's games after that, Birmingham and Crystal Palace away, for Southampton back here at the Bridge in August. So, you know, get through Manchester United, you might fancy yourself for at least 10, maybe even 12 points out of 12 there.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to take a good lead in the Premiership and settle ourselves down. We're hopefully at the top of the table with a good points lead.
More battling from Jeremy, and for the second time in quick succession he's been whistled. Arm across the shirt there. Probably a fair enough decision. Visitors still struggling to mount any sort of attack, but they'll have another go here with Zapater, who's spread it wide, and ball's come in towards Peter Cech, but that should be comfortably dealt with, and it is. He's looked strong. Not that Carlo hasn't necessarily, but Cech seems to come for pretty much everything and get it most of the time.
Well, he's a big man, you know, he's a very big man, and you expect someone to come out like with his size and his presence to, you know, come and make sure that he gets all the crosses, and, you know, that just makes it really comfortable for the defenders, knowing that your keeper can come and do them kind of things. He looks very competent, to be honest. You know, I haven't seen much of him, but what I have seen of him in the Chelsea shirt, he looks very competent.
Gallas tries the long ball again, and Johnson's offside this time. What about William Gallas then? With £20 million worth of Ricardo Carvalho's come in, you presume as captain John Terry's got to start. I mean, maybe that's not the case, but
I think under Jose there's no presumptions. You know what they say about presumption. So at the end of the day, he knows he wants two players in every position, and he wants people battling for their places. And I believe he's just going to put his best 11 out, what he believes is his best 11, whether he bought you for 20 million or you just came through the youth, through the ranks at Chelsea. He doesn't care. He just wants the best 11 on the Saturday or Wednesday, whenever you're playing the game.
only 22, Peter Cech. He seems pretty assured, and he had a good Euro 2004.
Yeah, he's a very good shot stopper. For a big man, he gets down very, very quick, and he makes some great shot stopping. And obviously, as you've just seen just previously, he's no bad on the crosses either.
The aimless ball towards Good Johnson, but it didn't really get anywhere near its target as Alvaro clears, and Fernando Soriano can possibly try and set something up for Zaragoza. It's a fine long ball there that's found its way to Luciano Ponzio, but Paulo Ferreira can bring it away for Chelsea, and Jeremy on the right side of that diamond. And here comes that patient build-up play. Damien Duff with no clue where the ball was there, and it might cost Chelsea here, but William Gallas is across very quickly. That's typical Gallas defending, really. Even if he is a yard or two behind at one point, he'll always make up for it with the pace, won't he?
Yeah, he's got great pace, and he's asserted himself as like a very key member of the squad. Great defending, great player.
The twinkle toes from Damien Duff as well. No longer Chelsea's record signing, of course. And someone else with a fight on his hands for the starting berth, with Arjen Robben looking more than handy in pre-season. Zapater doing well again, not for the first time in the middle of their midfield. He seems to have the Makelele role as the cross comes in from Toledo, but Lampard now with a chance to look up and maybe pick someone out. Here comes the pass, but Drogba was probably offside anyway, and a little bit of a missed wavelength there. But that's going to happen.
I think Zaragoza, like they're holding a very high line, They know Chelsea have got a lot of pace in their side, and they don't want to drop deep because they know how Chelsea can play. So they're condensing the pitch and making it very tight and holding a very high line. So at the moment, Chelsea are finding it very hard to get in behind them.
Now, Duff. Bit of space, he chooses Lampard, and there was an overlap there, but the ball didn't quite come through. Lampard's done well to get enough on it to make sure Terry can win the ball back. Diarra's touch for Good Johnson, and the Nigerian again, and that looked like a foul, and indeed it was.
Slick build-up play again. Something that the Chelsea punters can get used to this season, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of it.
Yeah, they like the two-touch stuff, don't they? Or, well, one-touch, two-touch. Seen plenty of it out in America on Chelsea TV. They've really passed it around very well, and a lot of the goals have, I mean, there's been 10 of them so far in the 4 games, but a lot of them have been from excellent flowing moves.
And that all goes down to the system, which has been preached to them day in and day out, morning and afternoon. They've got to play one way, and they stick to the system.
Very hands-on, isn't he, Mourinho? He's out there with his clipboard and his methodology, as he calls it, and he's hammering it in.
Definitely. Every training session is built into understanding the diamond shape of the midfield and how he wants his team to play.
And that's something that he's putting right through the system all the way down to...
Yes, it's filtering all the way down to the academy. He wants the whole club to play the one way, and all the kids at the club, they have to understand, if they want to come through the ranks at Chelsea, they have to play towards this way.
Which is obviously something very different from the Ranieri regime. Of course, he was just a first-team coach, whereas Mourinho really is, his title is manager, and he really is
hands-on.
He's
hands-on with everything. He's going to be making an appearance at the academy with the kids coming in for their little pre-season, and he's going to show his face as well. So, you know, not many managers do that, and it just shows his commitment towards the club.
Ponzio with a nice touch to find Ruben Gracia, with maybe a chance for a ball in, and it's cleared well by Gallas. Only as far as the far stand in the end, as Alvaro puts it way over. Always looks tired, William Gallas, even though he seems to run for 90 minutes. He's got that expression on his face, hasn't he?
I used to be the same.
He did well there. He did well there, though, in fairness.
Yeah, it's very hot out there. I don't know what the pitch temperature is, but it's very hot. Just walking towards the ground, I was sweating. So running around in the stadium, it's very hot, and sometimes you find it hard to breathe. So, you know, you can see the players that some of them will be sensible, using their brains, not overrunning themselves, making the ball do the work, not themselves.
Just about 100 degrees at pitch level, we understand. That's
so quite cool then.
That's got to be
yeah.
fairly sapping, you'd have thought. Now, here's Zaragoza. Villa, their main man up front. He might to get on the end of that again. Scored just about as many goals as the rest of his squad last season, David Villa. Zaragoza's number 9, as Johnson wants a foul, doesn't get it. Here he is again, coming even deeper than normal, and foul not given, or is it? Yes, it is finally, and the Paraguayan Toledo is penalised. Even for Edgar Johnson, that is deep.
Again, Zaragoza holding a very high line, and this is something that they're going to have to work out quite soon, because you know, they can't keep running in the offside, you know, so they're going to have to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more build-up play.
sooner or later you'd think they'd probably break that trap anyway, though, at some point. I mean,
Yeah, but it's a combination of doing different things. If you're just going from with the long ball and trying to beat it that way, I don't think you're going to do it. You've got to mix up the game. You know, sometimes long passes, sometimes short passes, and you've got to pull the team apart. Then the holes develop, and then you can pass through and get midfielders running from deep, and that's how you beat the offside trap. Once you do that, then they'll start dropping deeper, and then you can play.
that was looking good. Here's Good Johnson. He's still battling in there, and just about retained possession. Is Babillard on the left. Lampard looking to pick out a good ball, and he has. It's Drogba trying to work it onto his right foot. Johnson offside, though. I remember the last time we saw Good Johnson offside so many times. But him and Drogba, you'd think, is probably the first choice. I know you're saying it's the team at on the day, but you'd think you'd have one up and one off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's looking more and more like it at the moment. But again, you never know. You never know. But for us who have got a guess, we're not Jose. We're not in his position. It does look like it.
There's someone he definitely likes, Paulo Ferreira. He was the first name that came with Jose from Porto. Obviously, we didn't get much of a look at him at Euro 2004 because of that opening day.
Yeah, he didn't have too much. Yeah, he didn't have too much of a good game, and one of his mistakes ended up as a goal as well. So, you know, it wasn't a good appearance. And if Chelsea players were just Chelsea fans were just looking at him in that championship, they wouldn't have got a good impression of him. But Jose knows what he's doing. He's worked with him for many a year, so he knows what he's getting as a fullback. And if he's going to pay that kind of money for him, I'm sure he's confident in what he's buying.
He played every minute of their Champions League campaign last year at Porto. In fact, so did Ricardo Carvalho, the other man at the back for Chelsea, and so it can't be half bad if they won the Champions League.
Exactly. You don't
He's
become
got a fight
bad,
on here.
Yeah.
And that's more like it.
You don't become a bad player overnight. So, you know, Jose knows what he's doing.
It's just unfortunate, I suppose, that one time he gave the ball away.
This
Stylianos happened to smack it in from 20 yards.
This happens. It's how you recover from them things.
Jeremy fancied himself for a break there, and it like he got away, but not for the first time. He's been called up for a foul. Now perhaps a first chance for some real quality into the box from the Spaniards. Ponzio is over the ball. And it's he who delivers, and it wasn't a Chelsea head. The shot comes in, and it's high, wide, and thoroughly unhandsome. Don't think this angle's going to do him any favours, to be honest. No.
Still not very convincing on the defensive situations. Not that convincing on how we cleared the ball. Something again that we need to work on.
That is twice now that the ball in has met a Zaragoza head first. Now, a ricochet here in Chelsea's favour, but in the end Damien Duff's going to have to scrap the ball. He's won that fairly, has he? No. Injuries, that's the worry with Damien Duff, isn't it? 29 games is the most he's played in a season, which is possibly a little bit worrying. That was in his Blackburn days. 26
he's
for
an
Chelsea.
explosive player, and with an explosive player, you know, his hamstrings are a big problem. You know, Michael Owen has found that out to his detriment, and other players in that situation, as I'm sure Giggs has had a few in his time as well. So, you know, with explosive players, you're going to have these problems because that's what their game is based on.
Typical John Terry defending there, reading the game so well and bringing it down on his chest and laying the ball out to Duff. But going back to Damien Duff, only started 17 games last year, and you just felt every time he looked like he was getting into a run, and the fans were starting to love what they were seeing with him buccaneering down that flank. He'd just get another knock or he'd be out of the side, and even though he's obviously become a fan's favourite quite quickly, you still feel you haven't seen the best of him.
No, I don't think so. But I think in this system you will see the best of him. I don't think it'll be put too much pressure on him to actually gallop down the wing too much all the time, which puts too much pressure on his hamstrings in the first place. I think it will suit him, this system, and I think he'll get more out of it, more games, and you'll see the other side of his game as well, not just his bursting runs down the wing.
And would you expect he'd be on the left side of that diamond, or at the point of it behind the striker in a sort of free roll?
I think he's got to learn to either go right or left. He can come in if he's playing on the left-hand side and come inside and attack people down inside, or if he's playing down the left or right, it doesn't matter. He's got to learn to play both ways. For all the players that are going to play out wide, they're going to have to learn maybe to swap sometimes. You may not get joy on the right-hand side, so you swap over to the left-hand side, and you may get joy when you swap.
Certainly did last season. On a few occasions him and Jesper Gronkjær swapped around, and he set up a fair few goals from that right hand side.
Definitely.
Sparta Prague, Middlesbrough, you can think of. There's a few examples of that. Now here's Frank Lampard. Just the one in the middle, although Duff's arriving. Lampard again. Ball comes in towards Duff. If he can pull it back, he so nearly did as well, and Drogba's able to collect the loose ball. Some pretty strong defending from Ponzio there, and he's drawn the foul from Drogba.
But that was better from Chelsea. Good football, good cross. Duff almost getting it back in, and ended up with Drogba committing a foul on the defender. You know, it's good stuff. It's good stuff when Chelsea actually get a flow and move together. It's good stuff, and in this temperature, they're keeping the ball well, which they need to do. And as a unit, you can see them. As a unit, they're very tight when they haven't got the ball.
Toledo to Savio. You can hear some substitutes warming up. You might hazard a guess that one of them could be Gianfranco Zola. Zapatero finds Delio Toledo. Zapatero again. They're not really getting anywhere though, are they? More good step up defending from Terry.
That's because Chelsea are tight as a unit, and they're finding it very hard to break Chelsea down.
Now Drogba's ball. It's not going to reach its intended target, which looks to be Heidegger Johnson. Luis Garcia is messing around a little bit in that corner flag, but it looks like he's on the throw. Maybe the second half will give us a first chance to look at Ricardo Carvalho here at the Bridge. He got a few minutes against Milan in the second half.
Well, I'm sure he'd be desperate to get on the pitch and show what he can do, and get involved with other Chelsea players and get more time on the pitch, because that's what you need. You need time on the pitch to bed down. The more time you can get on the pitch, the better it is for you.
Especially when he's the latest member back of the squad, having been in the final in Portugal.
Definitely. I'm sure he's going to want to get in the swing of things as soon as possible.
Victor Munoz, the Zaragoza coach, believe it or not, finished his career in St Mirren in 1991 before turning to management, but he was a Zaragoza player himself and a Barcelona player too, won 60 caps for Spain, so he knows what it's all about.
Impressive. Must have been eye-opening when he went to St Mirren, though.
They taught him a thing or two.
Yeah.
Now Chelsea with a set piece of their own. Haven't had too many of these in the half. It's like Frank Lampard's getting ready to deliver, unless it's the left foot of Babayaro. And it comes from Lampard and just about dealt with by Garcia. William Gallas alive to the counter-attack. He's done well there. Now Drogba with some support in the middle. It's there in the form of Gudjonsson if Drogba can get the ball in, and just about dispossessed though in the end by Gabriel Milito. For the umpteenth time in this half, that's a niggly foul there from Makelele. Him and Jeremy have been whistled up a few times so far, but they're obviously wanting to get stuck in because, as we've been saying, no one's first team place is cemented now. Anything doing there, Eddie?
No, I think it's a very weak free kick. I don't think the referee should have given it. He got there, got his foot in, got the ball. May have got a bit of the man as well, but he got the ball mainly. So I don't think it was a free kick myself. But it's good to see Makelele and getting his foot in, being strong, because that's his job at the base of the diamond, protecting the back four.
He's found some unlikely competition in the form of Alexis Smertin, who's had an absolute blinder in every game he's played so far for Chelsea. Probably people would have imagined he'd have been about the 24th name out of 24 on the list, but he's played so well at Oxford and
he's been
Celtic.
very impressive.
I mean, the goal was a bonus, but I mean his holding midfield play's been outstanding.
Yeah, he's been very impressive. But again, it's all good for Chelsea. It's all good for Chelsea. If players think they can get in the side without even having to try very hard, then it's not good for the team. When you know you have to really train hard and play hard for your position, then you're going to get the best out of your players.
We're really seeing that with Matthias Kesman as well. He's got 4 goals in 3 games as we watch Zaragoza with a attempt as we end this half, but Gallas is across here. Matthias Kesman, 4 goals in 3 games, and we're talking about him maybe not even starting the season up front. And how many teams would kill to have him on their starting lineup?
He just looks like a natural scorer. You know, he's just born to score goals. His movement off the ball, his technique with balls coming over his shoulder, and one of his goals, it was just an instant toe poke into the top corner on the American tour. I'm not sure who was against, but you can see he's a very natural goal scorer, and that's something Chelsea's going to need throughout the season. Someone who can get them 20 to 25 goals, with other players lending a hand with 6, 7 goals, and that's when you can build on a championship side.
Four minutes left for Chelsea to try and add to their lead. Maybe they can do so here as Johnson just offside. I'd like to see that one again. It must have been pretty tight.
Good work again in midfield, getting close, getting our foot in, and almost springing a trap there. And it must have been very close. But again, Zaragoza holding a very high line. Starting to become very frustrating. Don't want the players getting frustrated and doing silly things. Just keep to their game plan and, you know, keep trying to pull Zaragoza apart, and hopefully the goal will come.
It's Toledo again. He's looked like he wants to be lively down that left-hand side. It just hasn't quite happened for him as Czech comes out to claim, and for the second time today his handling is assured. Could have been nasty, that one. just got to spilled out. And there was David Villa waiting as the long ball again finds Good Johnson offside. And this is getting a little bit repetitive.
You know, obviously Zaragoza are building for their campaign, but you know, this is a game we want to see some football. We don't want to see high lines. We want to see both teams getting the ball down and playing some football, because the spectators have come here to see a good game, and they don't want to see people holding high lines and just watching offsides all the time.
The linesman's going to get arm ache at this rate.
Yeah, definitely.
Zapater, the anchor man in that midfield, to Toledo. Easily dealt with, and perhaps a break on for Duff as he tries a long ball towards Drogba, but that's off the radar, that one. Thoughts on the first half overall then?
It's not been bad. It's not been bad. Obviously, we've just been talking about the high lines Zaragoza are holding, which is kind of spoiling the game. But on the whole, looking at Chelsea, they're very compact when they haven't got the ball and making it very hard for Zaragoza to find a way through. And they haven't had really much chances on goal. Maybe one that's gone high and wide from a wide free kick. But other than that, we scored a good goal. We've kept the ball. We've been quite patient, but you can see a little bit of frustration creeping into the Chelsea players with the long ball over the top, which is not quite working. And I'm sure at half-time, Jose will have a few words of how to try and change that situation, and you know, be a little bit more patient and pull the Zaragoza team around and wait for the openings to happen and then play through them. But on the whole, it's been quite good.
I think Chelsea's new number 25 might have a chance of pulling them apart with a ball or two.
I'm sure he'll have a few tricks up his sleeves.
Lampard. Terry to Gallas. Just playing out time at the end of the first 45 minutes here. And right on cue, there we are. It's been a first half without Franco Zola, but don't worry, he'll be here soon enough. Didier Drogba, what a great start for his Stamford Bridge career. A goal on 8 minutes. The opposition haven't offered too much, but so far so good for Chelsea in their final pre-season game. At the break, they lead Zaragoza by 1-0. No Gianfranco Zola just yet, but there are going to be 3 Chelsea changes, and after we talked about Matai Kezman maybe not being able to play with Didier Drogba as being a front man himself, here they are playing together.
Well, maybe Jose's just trying to look at all his options, whether they do link up together well or maybe they don't. And then he knows when you've got to play different partnerships together.
And Ricardo Carvalho at the back for William Gallas, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be a good chance for him to bed in, as we were saying before half-time. You know, I'm sure he's be itching to get on the pitch and get some more time on the pitch and playing in front of his new fans and with the new players that he's around.
But he wishes he didn't have quite that much hair in this heat. Chelsea prepared to get this second half underway. Looking for another win. They have lost one game in pre-season and drawn at Oxford. Not that results are all important, but a winning mentality is good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Going into a new season, you want to win. It's a sign that, you know, everything that you're doing is going well. So, yeah, of course you're going to want to win.
Here is Carvalho with a chance to... He keeps it simple in the end to his old Porto teammate, Paulo Ferreira, and he looks long towards Drogba. You can just see Didier Drogba becoming a crowd favourite very, very quickly here, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, he's strong, he holds the ball up well, he's got an eye for goal, and, you know, yeah, it's definitely something that Chelsea will look to as supporters.
Meat and drink for John Terry, and it is as check clears long. Drogba was Player of the Year in France last year, which is no mean feat given how strong their league was, comparatively speaking. He beat Ludovic Giuli of Monaco, of whom Chelsea already know far too much. So that's it's a pretty high accolade to win the Player of the Year there. He also scored against Porto in the Champions League, which probably helped. Great goal against Jose Mourinho's side.
To be honest with you, you know, I saw him in all the UEFA games that he played, and he looked very strong, very competitive, and you know, he had an eye for goal. And I was very impressed with his performances, to be honest.
Comes shot, but it's more or less dealt with. That's a typical Scotty Parker challenge that enables Carvalho to stride out with the ball, and he's put Kezman through. As you know, I think that's just going to be another offside, and again it must have been tight, but that was encouraging to see the way Carvalho came out there outside of the football, very confident.
Yeah, he's a very confident player. You know, after last season, you will be confident, wouldn't you?
I'm going to keep that one in there. Substitute, Juanele. Jeremy and Scott Parker, they possibly in danger of falling into that trap of being the sort of utility player that, though people say it's nice to have versatility, then sometimes you can't nail down a place in any one spot because people think you can play everywhere.
Yeah, there's plus points.
And punched away, sorry.
Yeah, no, there's plus points and there's minus points in that when becoming a utility player. Yeah, it's you know, as a player you want to just hold down one position and be known for that one position, and you don't want to be pulled all over the place. So it's got its plus points for a manager, but it's minus points as a player.
Some confirmation of the Spaniards' substitutes there. It's pretty much half the midfield gone there. They had obviously playing 2 and 3 and then just one up top and then 3 men on. Javi Movilla. There's one that might be worth picking out, former Atletico Madrid man, and this time the flag has stayed down as Paulo Ferreira charges into the box, and that is 2-0. It's his second assist of the game, but Gabriel Milito's going to get credited with it. Chelsea are 2 up.
And that's the way to break it offside. You know, Ferreira's come from deep, long run from deep, and long ball from Lampard, and that's how you beat it. The forwards are not going to beat the offside trap. It's got to come from defenders, from wide and midfielders, and we've done it exactly how it is, and that's what happens. Great goal.
Frank Lampard's been looking to put people through all day, as you say, but it's been mainly Johnson and Drogba. That time you've got
someone running from deep. When you've got someone running from deep, then it works. Now Zaragoza will think twice about holding a high line, and that's when you can start pulling them apart.
Plus, of course, now if they want to get anything from the game on a results point of view, they're going to have to be a little bit more positive going forward, which you might think will open up a few more gaps for the Blues.
Hopefully, so we can get a little bit more entertaining of a game, especially for a full house at Chelsea, which is very good to see.
I don't think they'll be struggling somehow come season time as they tries to break through. The full houses should be in plentiful supply in this centenary season. One way or another, it promises to be one to remember.
Let's hope it's a very successful season.
Comes the ball towards no one in particular. Run out of play for just about a throw-in, I think, off the corner flag. Now he'll be very happy to see his right back having such a good game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's all good for new players when they come into a side. It's very good for them to come in and do well, especially in pre-season, so they can bed themselves in, get some confidence, and then it looks good for the new season.
Look who's off and running. That's just for a jog. Imagine what it's going to be like when he gets on the pitch.
It's well deserved. Well deserved for a man that's done so much for Chelsea. and the world game, and a complete gentleman, and deserves every accolade that he gets.
Comes the ball, but it's not going to be any danger. Very confidently done by Ferreira, and look at the changed man that he's become. And another chance to have a gallop down this right wing. Don't think he meant to do that, though.
Not quite. Do you think he saw the keeper off the line and was trying that?
Well, he's already set up two. He can't do much better than that other than score one, so maybe the 60-yarder was lighting up in his eyes ahead of him. Lampard plays it short this time to Jeremy and Makelele, and here we have the possession football that Mourinho covets so much. Makelele's given it away, and Frank Lampard's got a chase on here, and he's gaining just about, and Terry makes sure that the substitute Alonso's not getting anywhere.
That's one way of dealing with the situation. Run into a brick wall.
Free kick though, and they're going to have some defending to do. Ferreira it is who deals with it, and Drogba eventually. Back in again though, and dozy stuff from Chelsea, and they get away with murder there. Peter Cech has just about held on. Sloppy at the back again there, Eddie.
Yeah, we don't seem to be very comfortable dealing with defensive corners or free kicks. We're not dealing with the situation at all. No one's coming and commanding, and that's 1 point that's not looking good going into the new season.
Ruben Gracia. By Savio. Plenty of whip on that ball, but John Terry this time was calm and assured. It's the Spaniards' turn for a bit of possession. They try another loopy ball in, but this one's no problem for Cech, and Ferreira and Jeremy should be able to break. Barker exchanging passes with Makelele, and wanted to get it back again, but hasn't quite worked, and Ferreira's nicked him brilliantly there as Kezman gets the side of goal for the first time this half. And one way or another it's dealt with by Militao at the back there. Quite know what he was doing, but one way or another Kezman's on Chelsea a corner now.
That's the patient play that we're looking at. You're starting to pull them apart, and I can see a few of them feeling the effects of the heat on the pitch, and Chelsea again starting to get a lot of joy out on the pitch now.
As Luciano Ponzio is going to be coming off, as is the Brazilian Savio. First job is to defend a Chelsea corner. And it's a free header and a great save. No one picked up John Terry. Luis Garcia with a Gordon Banks style save there.
He pulled off a great save from a great header from John Terry. Textbook header, headed down, and almost got the reap the walls of a great header, but great save from the keeper.
Chance for another one as Lampard swings it in. This one's dealt with rather better by the Zaragoza defence. John Terry didn't even have to jump then, but as you say, he did everything right, headed it down, and it looked for all the world like it was 3-0.
I think the quality, you can start seeing the quality starting to shine through now. You know, Chelsea's football starting to come to the forefront, and they're looking the better side.
Assured stuff from the new boy Carvalho. The fans would like that one. John Terry alongside him obviously got the landslide dressing room vote for captaincy. Obviously, you'd have no arguments with that choice.
No, you know, I think Jose realises that, you know, it's got to, we'll watch this attack first.
As Kezman looks to play in Lampard, who continues his run, but you're saying?
Yeah, you know, you've got to have a British. I believe, like, if you're playing in Spain, the captain should be Spanish. If you play in England, the captain should be English. It's just the way, and I'm sure Jose sees it the same way. So I think it's a sensible decision and a good decision. And I hope he'll be a very successful captain for Chelsea.
About kept control. Here's Gallietta, the new boy, and that's decent ball in that, and flashes across the face of goal, and Chelsea get away with it there, but looked like they had things covered, just about.
Yeah, just about. I think it just came off someone's head, and none of the defenders could react quick enough. Went sliding across the goal, no danger in the end.
Well, it is going to be a Chelsea substitution, but as yet it doesn't look like it's the one that everyone's waiting for. Glenn Johnson, the man coming on. Looked like it was Jeremy going off.
I wonder how is he going to play. Is he going to play Glenn Johnson right back and Ferreira pushed on, or is it going to be the other way around?
Well, perhaps they can do the Lasso Babiaro trick and just switch over whenever they feel like. Drogba got something on that, and even if he didn't, it was enough to get Kezman in, who's sold his defender a dummy. The ball's in. Drogba wants a penalty, he's not going to get it.
Referees are very reluctant to give penalties at this stage of the season. So he would have done very well to get one.
It'd be just a clash of legs more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
Ruben Gracia. No change out of Glenn Johnson, and there's Paulo Ferreira, and the double teaming, and themselves a throw.
Looks like Ferreira's moved into midfield and Glenn's gone into the right back position. But as you said, maybe they can do that double team, just working together up and down the right hand side. Whoever goes forward, the other one drops in for them.
Lampard picks up Kezman's layoff. Gone maybe for a nudge there, but looks like it's play on anyways. Drogba came in on the goalkeeper. Really full-blooded challenge.
he's not a kind of man to pull out of a challenge. That's one thing I noticed in his exploits in the UEFA Cup last season. So Chelsea can look forward to him going into many a challenge with a keeper and centre-backs from other clubs.
Wouldn't want him running at you at full pelt.
No, not really.
Comfortably dealt with by Peter Cech there. He's not really had a great deal to do in terms of quality saves. He had that one from the scramble.
Sometimes that's a sign of a good keeper, keeping his concentration. He's got nothing to do really in the game, but when he does have to do something, he does it with quality.
Parker looking for options and finding one of them is Glenn Johnson, and it's Ferreira coming back. Yeah, it does definitely look as if he's the more advanced of the two, but as you say, it's probably something they can chop and change as they like. Just knocking it around, and eventually they hope the hole will come.
Yeah, that's what this system's all about. It's being patient. You know, you got a 2-0 cushion. You don't have to chase the game. Make the opposition work, and when they work, then they get tired, and then holes will appear, and that's how you break them apart.
Ruben Gracia's coming off for Zaragoza. The man coming on is Goran Drulic, who has scored already here in England against Bolton, no less, last night. And look who it is.
The man.
After 63 minutes, to make his 313th and final appearance in a Chelsea shirt, he's coming on for the goal scorer Didier Drogba. We'll let the fans do the talking from here on in. It's Gianfranco Zola. Even when you've achieved what he has, Eddie, that's got to give you goosebumps, isn't it?
Of course it has. You know, he's a human being at the end of the day, and if you hear 45,000 people screaming your name and cheering for you, you've got to be inhuman not to be getting goosebumps down the back of your neck.
And there he is, first touch. No, that was a foul. Come on, ref, surely. He's not going to get any favours. Does referee not know who he is? Villa loses out with a slip there.
I'm sure he's going to leave his mark on the game, definitely.
Carvalho finds Terry, and now Makaleli. Offside trap again. Eddie, you had 3 seasons at Chelsea with Franco.
Yeah, 3 very enjoyable seasons with him. You know, as a talent on the pitch, everyone knows what he's like, and you ask anybody when he's got the ball, you know what positions to run into, and when you've got the ball, he'll always make himself available for you, even in tight situations, because he's very confident on the ball, obviously. And it's a great pleasure to play with the man. And he was the man that set me up for my cup final goal. So, you know, I got a lot to owe to the man.
He could do with a second touch on the ball. He's still there though, still working, as you know he will.
It will come, it will come. And when it comes, everyone will know what's happening. Because I'm sure he's desperate to leave his mark on the game.
David Villa, who we've not really seen much of in terms of being a goal threat. He's had a couple of digs from way out and they've gone way over, but Spaniards haven't really looked like troubling Peter Cech so far, have they?
No, they haven't.
Maybe they might with a long-range effort, right on cue.
But it's good if you got teams resorting to hitting balls from 35 yards out. It's a good sign that the team's working well together as a compact unit and making it hard for the other team to score goals.
So we've got another swap here, and just as he's about to take a goal kick, Peter Cech is actually coming off. Chelsea's number one in terms of squad number for Chelsea's number one in terms of the last 3 seasons. Carlo Cudicini with probably a little bit to prove given his standards.
Well, I think it's only a good thing for Carlo. You know, you could get comfortable in that position knowing that you're the definite number one, and you know your game could slip. But now he's got some competition behind him. Now he knows he has to pick up his game, and he knows he's going to have to fight for everything in training, in games, and again, it's only good for Chelsea.
It's a strange one, really. You go back a couple of years, Cudicini had Bosnich and De Hoy, and they're all playing well whenever they got in. Last year he didn't really have any genuine challenging in terms of from Sullivan or Ambrosio. He was always going to play if he was fit, Carlo, and he wasn't quite as good as he had been the year before last year, but now he's got the pressure back. Maybe that'll help.
It will help, isn't it? It helps everybody's game. You know, when you got pressure on you, you're always going to step up to the plate, and if you don't step up to the plate, then you'll slowly find your way walking out the door. And I'm sure every player in this squad will want to remain a part of this squad because it's a massive club that's going to do big things in the future.
And when they play football like that, which we've just seen there, really knocking it about brilliantly in little triangles and squares, and Zaragoza just chasing shadows.
That's what the system's all about, triangles and diamonds, not squares though.
That wasn't booing you heard there, that was the call for Robert Huth, who's about to come on for John Terry, it looks like. We've got the old-fashioned placards there rather than the electronic ones. Off comes the skipper. And on comes the Berlin Wall. Even in pre-season he takes no prisoners. There was a fairly meaty challenge, you might remember, in that Oxford game, Eddie.
Oxford game.
Zola in the corner flag, this is what we want. And you're never going to guess who the captain's armband's gone to.
And rightly so, rightly so.
Babayara. Parker looks long towards Kesman, but he's dispossessed comfortably. Wants it back, and has done enough to give it to Zola, who's got a little bit of space here. Good tackle. Probably needed another option there. He only had Kesman, didn't really have anyone left.
Yeah, but then again, you got to think he may want to leave his mark on the game, and where he would have passed in a league game, you know, maybe he wanted to take it on and do a little something special for the fans, you know. So it's hard for the wee man, but I'm sure something will produce for him today. Let's hope.
Now Villa. And Movia. Cudicini's dealt with that one comfortably. He'll be pleased about that. The first solid touch, but yes, back to Franco. He did look like he was trying to somehow shift it onto his right foot for something special from 20 yards, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I can see him. He's gagging to leave his mark on the game, and you can see it already. Obviously, if he was in a league game and preparing for the league with Chelsea, then he'll be doing it a little bit more sensibly. But obviously, he wants to get something out of this because this is his last appearance for Chelsea, obviously. And he hasn't got much time to do it in.
And it's not like it's a testimonial where you know there's going to be a penalty late on that he can take and have a
Yeah.
cheer, because it's a little bit more serious than that.
Exactly.
Now very deep, Lampard. He likes his long passing now, Frank Lampard. It's something he's added to his game, I think, over the last couple of seasons. He seems to, Neil's often saying that he's adding something different each season, and he really does seem to be the complete midfielder.
Well, that's what you got to do as a player. You got to keep adding to your game. You got to look at around you and look at other players, and you got to learn off them and add it to your game. If you're competent as a short passer, you got to learn to do long passing. If your shooting's not of the best, you got to learn to shoot, and you got to keep making sure you're a better player, because if you don't, someone else will step in your place.
He's got the lot there, hasn't he, Lampard?
Yeah, he's improved dramatically over the time that he's been at the club, and let's hope that he keeps going on for many a year at Chelsea and England.
Yeah, he's a must for country now as well as club, isn't he? £11 million was quite a lot of money back then for someone who's just a sort of young, promising midfielder. 11 million quid's quite a lot of money, but
it was,
it's
and
worth it now.
yeah, you could see in the first season the big club mentality that you got at Chelsea. I think he was a bit surprised when he moved from West Ham, but he's dealt with it now, and he's come on leaps and bounds, and I'm sure he's going to keep on progressing through the years at Chelsea.
A little bit scrappy there as Zola comes back to try and win it back, and almost does. Johnson with some defending to do. He's been turned there, but Carvalho should shepherd that one out comfortably. He's looked pretty assured, Ricardo Carvalho.
Yeah, he has looked very comfortable, very confident young man. He's won the Champions League, he's won the Portuguese League, and he had a great European Championships with Portugal. So you expect him to be confident, and you expect him to be competent as well.
Incredible, really, that he didn't start in their first game. He wasn't playing, and the veteran Fernando Couto was, and he was obviously a little bit shabby at the back there and getting a bit long in the tooth. You wonder why he wasn't playing from the start, because he was outstanding when he came in.
Yeah, well, this is the decisions that we don't know about, what's going on behind closed doors. So, you never know. He could have been carrying something. You never know.
Here he is again, the £20 million defender. His former and current teammate Paulo Ferreira with 2 assists so far in this game. Almost had a third there. Cut out by Milito, and something special from the right winger there, Galletti.
Next, the goalkeeper will be trying his luck.
Yes, he's supposedly the live wire. Luciano Galletti. Haven't seen a great deal of it so far, though. Alan Tharbal with a comfortable bit of defending there that Terry would have been proud of. Now, they're not playing fair here, the Spaniards. They really should be giving Zola the ball.
I don't think they read the script before they came onto the pitch, did they?
Now maybe Parker can find him. That's it. No one's going to be doing Franco any favours even on the Chelsea lineup, though, are they? The likes of Scott Parker, they're trying to impress the manager. They're not trying to make friends with Franco.
Exactly, yes.
Lampard. Do you think the boss would have wanted more of a workout, or do you think he'll probably be quite pleased that it's a gentle pace in this weather and that his players aren't getting
Jose's
too worn out?
he's sensible. He understands that it's very hot on the pitch, and
Oh, great ball from Zola. It's surely this must be a goal. Kezman, oh, he's missed it. Extraordinary. Franco Zola so nearly had an assist. Chelsea have struggled to break that offside trap all afternoon, but he's managed it with a wonderful piece of quick thinking. Lampard was unselfish. And
it's one of those things when it's too easy, you switch off a little bit, your concentration goes, and you have a mistake. But not to worry, I'm sure he's a big enough man to pick himself up, dust himself off, and maybe be on the end of another 25 goals at the end during this season.
Well, he missed a hatful in the Roma game, the second game on that US tour you might have seen with us on Chelsea TV, and he kept going though, and he got himself a goal at the end. It was a bit of a scrappy one off the sole of his boot, but it went in, and it.
But that shows a sign of a strong man. He's always in the position to miss. If you're in the position to miss, then you're always in the position to score as well. And if you keep going, eventually it will come. Eventually it will come. All the great strikers in the world are not afraid to miss.
"28 goals he got for Partizan Belgrade 3 years ago, Matai Kezman, then 28 more last year, 35 goals in 33 games 2 years ago for PSV. He's a machine.
Yeah, he's a natural goal scorer. You can tell. All he wants to do is score goals. Very unselfish from Frank Lampard there. Because I'm telling you now, if I was in that position, I would not have been passing.
Just wonder if it might have been in the back of Kezman's mind that he ought to just backheel it to Zola to tuck in.
No, not in a goal scorer's mind. When you're that far away from the goal, all he was thinking was hitting the back of the net.
Here he is, the wee man with a time to slip a pass through. It was Kezman again he was looking for, and it almost worked.
As you said, a lot of these players are still trying to impress the manager. So, you know, it's all to play for. 1 week left till the big kickoff. And I'm sure all these players, subs and players that are on the pitch, want to be involved in that game. But as we all know, there's only 11 positions and it's all up for grabs.
We've talked about the competition for places. At the end of it, do you see that this is a real, genuine chance of the title for Chelsea this season?
Yeah, it's a genuine chance. But even if we don't win the championship this year, as long as we keep the manager and keep the squad together, then we are definitely in the position next season to definitely go forward and do something really big. And that's the key thing, keeping the squad and the management together. Too much change, there's too much disturbance, and you've got to start again, basically. So we started a new era here with Jose, and may long continue.
It's not going to trouble anyone, that ball in from
Only the person in row X.
Yeah, Luciano Galletti with not too much to please his manager so far. Victor Munoz, as we look at his counterpart Jose Mourinho, maybe thinking about possibly one more change. He's Steve Clarke with him there. How do you think Steve Clarke will help over the course of this season?
He'll do very well. He's a great coach, Stevie. He's a no-nonsense man. He will tell you exactly how he sees things. He's got no hidden agendas. And I'm sure Jose has brought him in for them games where he doesn't really know the English league totally well, with the lesser-known clubs. In the middle of winter, when it's cold and it's not so easy to play football, that's when Stevie Clarke will come into his own and help Jose out immensely.
A chance for an attack here is Zola looking to find room for the shot. He's going to hit one, and that's deflected. And it's almost found its way into the net.
That was unlucky.
Quatero and the goalkeeper Garcia combined one way or another to keep that one out. Take another look here. Franco was looking for that far corner, you'd suggest, and as Frank Lampard came in, a combination of the captain and the keeper kept it out, and there's...
I don't think Franco's going to be passing too much when he gets near that box, do you think?
No, and he certainly won't here if he can get in on... He's brilliantly tackled back there. Can Ferreira win the ball maybe and have a shot? No. He wants a goal. He's deadly serious about it as well.
Yes, he wants to leave his mark. There's no doubt about it.
The smile's gone.
Yep.
Well kept in by Galletti from via slightly overhit pass. Ponzio. Now Aaron Thabal. It's another one of those passes from Frank Lampard. He loves them, and here we are onside Kesman. Scott Parker, 3-0. Easy as you like.
That's the break that you're looking for. We won it nice and comfortably all the way back in our own box. 3 passes and it's in the back of the opposition's net. And that's great football. Great football. Great ball from Frank Lampard. Kesman's held his run, gone out wide, brought it across. Scott Parker's made a great run down the middle and finished it off very comfortably.
Second goal in a Chelsea shirt for Scott. He got one very soon after his transfer against Portsmouth. You might remember, you might remember, but he'll be pleased because he's not done all that much in truth in the pre-season matches, even though he started 3 of them. So it's something that he can point to as an improvement in his game, and something to maybe remind the manager that he's still around, even though if there are a few more illustrious names.
Well, Scott's still young, and you know, again, like Frank Lampard found out when he came from West Ham, it's that big club mentality. When you come over here, it's a big change when you've come from a lesser club, lesser known club, smaller club like Charlton, albeit that it's a good club. When you've got the expectation of what is at Chelsea at the moment, sometimes it's hard to live up to. But I'm sure if he digs down and works hard, he'll prove his price tag was worth it.
Makelele doing the job that he's made his own, really. Oh, just about stayed in play from the looks of things, as no holds barred from Glenn Johnson on VS.
You can see the Chelsea players are taking this game very seriously. Some stern challenges going in all over the pitch, which is good to see. Getting themselves ready for next Sunday.
Babayaro. Rare 90 minutes for him in the offing. Parker looking to give and go is Zola. Feet still as good as ever. Couldn't quite latch onto that pass from Lampard though.
Gentlemen, if you're using football workstation, please keep the right hand side of the road. Thank you.
And no surprises in this heat. It's got a little bit pedestrian here, but it's a good workout and certainly a lot of sweat for the Chelsea boys anyway.
Yeah, definitely a good workout. But you know, Chelsea have been sensible, made the ball do the work. They haven't been running themselves into the ground. They look compact as a team. And they've showed some good football, patient build-up play, and you know, it's impressive stuff.
Nice looking ball if Zola can get there. Fancy the keeper will beat him to it. The fans weren't happy, but at least he took it out for a throw. Now, that ought to be a yellow card.
I don't think the referee's going to give him a yellow card.
He's kicked the ball away, I don't care if it's pre-season. Now, 3.5 minutes for Franco Zola and Chelsea to get a fourth.
Yeah, the game's dead and buried now. Chelsea just using their brains, just passing the ball around, not overexerting themselves. They've done the job, and they just want to see the game through now. Give the ball to Zola.
Scott Parker might try to do just that as he gets his head up to see what's around him. Makaleli. And Lampard. Scott Parker doing what Scott Parker does best there. Didn't quite get the ball with him. Long ball from Aaron Tharbal, and it finds its intended target. Galletti on that right wing. Shot is a little bit tame and comfortably dealt with now. Mr. Zola on the ball. 1 or 2 options ahead of him. He wants a shot though. Instead the layoff comes to Paulo Ferreira in that slightly more advanced role on the right. No hurry from him now. It's Johnson. Babayara again. Nice ball to Lampard, and that's an unnecessary challenge, particularly at this point in the summer. Or no, Frank Lampard didn't seem to mind too much.
Frank done very well there. Saw him early, whipped the ball away. Great bit of skill, and that's all the defender could do, really. Bring him down. Great bit of skill by Frank there, showing how confident he is and producing some great football.
Now, is it me, or has that ball come a little bit more towards the corner of the box? It's just about in Zola territory now, I reckon.
Yep.
We've seen a few of these go into the top corners over the 312 appearances of Zola. Here he is. And rather selfishly, the goalkeeper didn't let it in. Zola again. He's won a corner. Doesn't look like he's going to get on the score sheet, but they'll love him all the same. Zola with the dead ball, and on the volley it's Lampard. What a great effort. Pretty hard skill on that one.
Yeah, it's a very hard skill to do. But Frank, who's very well known for his shooting exploits, is one of the best players in the world that can do a shot like that. So it was well worth the try.
Maybe a little bit of shin in it.
Yeah, a lot of shin.
Johnson just pulling out of that challenge there, but he's put in a couple of tasty ones. That's easy for Huth. And we're past the 90-minute mark. So there we have it. No goal for Franco Zola. And for the last time as a Chelsea player, he's going to leave the Stamford Bridge pitch. 313 appearances for him. Emotional day for him and the fans. It's a proper farewell. And at least they can send him off with a win. It's their 5th game of pre-season Chelsea, and they've won this one 3-0. Manchester United await next Sunday without Franco Zola. Full time, Chelsea 3, Real Zaragoza 0.
A good result. A not bad performance and a fantastic atmosphere. Gianfranco Zola's farewell from the fans at the end, the gratitude as he did his lap of honour was just unbelievable. I have to tell you that Jose Mourinho was originally going to give him 20 minutes, but because of the whole event, gave him half an hour. Magnificent. Let's speak to Steve Clarke, who of course played with him, and to the man himself.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. You've been really wonderful. And excuse me if I'm going to find difficult to say these few words. It was difficult for me 1 year ago. Can you imagine it now? Thanks for the opposition to have come here and to let me do a few tricks. I know that we agreed all. I know there are a few teammates over here. I would like to thank you them for them because they've been very supportive to me in the past few years. And thank to all you guys. You are wonderful, and I think thanks. Thanks. I really need to stop. My vocabulary is gone now. Anyway, I will treasure this experience. It made me better as a player, as a man. Thank you again. And I'll let Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Come on.
Let's talk the game first. 3-0. How good were Chelsea and how tired was Zaragoza?
I don't think you can say Zaragoza were tired. I thought they played really well. First half is probably as poorly as we've played in the pre-season. We didn't pass the ball well. Their system caused us one or two problems. It was a system we hadn't come up against before. Once we had we adapted and we changed one or two things around at half-time. The second half was better, but there was still, even in the first half, there was a lot of positives, because although they controlled the game, they didn't make any chances, and obviously we got the goal ourselves.
And it was a good goal.
No, it was good. I think today there was, like I say, a lot of good things, and one of them would be the performance of Paulo Ferreira. He's come in, home debut, and he's shown everyone what a great player he can be for the club. He's put in a fantastic cross for Didier to score the goal.
What did you change then at half-time? Because they were playing like a 4-2-3-1, weren't they?
Yeah, they I think if you watch any Spanish team, they're very, very similar. They all play the same system, and they know it very well. They play it from all the way through there. If you watch the Spanish under-16s, which I've done quite a lot recently, they play the same system. So it's all the way through. They understand it. They know how to play it. And it was just a little bit different, because most teams that we've played this year have been either try to match up against us in midfield or played with a flat four, so it was slightly different. But the biggest change we made second half was obviously we took Damien off. He's still chasing his fitness. It was a good workout for him the first half, but we changed in the second half and went more to an orthodox diamond shape in midfield.
When Frank's in there at the front of the diamond, as opposed to, say, Joe, it's a little bit more compact. He doesn't seem to play as much behind the front two as Joe does. Is that deliberate?
I think again that's a little bit to do with the way that Zaragoza played today, because they squeezed the game. They kept the game quite short, so there was not a lot of space to find behind the opposition midfield. So there wasn't a lot of space in there, which made it seem a little bit more cramped in midfield than usual.
Let's talk the man himself. What did you think of the atmosphere?
I thought it was fantastic. The reception he got before the game was just a warm-up to the real reception when he finished the game. I think it's a fitting tribute. Everybody knows what Franco's done for this football club. They know the contribution he's made, and it's just a little token of everybody's appreciation of what he's done for the club.
And he did, once he got his sort of 2 or 3 attempted dribbles out of his system, he started looking like the old Zola.
Yeah, I thought the manager was going to get him off when he kept getting caught in the ball. But no, it's very difficult for him to go on. I was just saying inside that he's only trained for a week. The Italian season doesn't start till the middle of September, so they're way behind in terms of fitness and sharpness. So he did well to come on, and he got caught in the ball a few times early, but once he got the pace of the game, he actually created 2 fantastic chances. A great ball to Frank, and a lovely little typical Zola, if you like, flick through for Mattia Kezman.
Gianfranco, that was just a fantastic occasion.
It was unbelievable. I think it was brilliant. I couldn't ask for any better, and that's just the right hand for my experience. Must say thank you very much for everybody for turning up and making it so special, and thanks for the club again for organizing this event. Let's hope it's going to be a good thing for the club to start winning and becoming a very winning side, and let's hope so.
What did you think of the football before you came on?
No, it was so, and then when I came on, it was brilliant. No, I'm only joking. No, it was excellent, really. It was a good game. I mean, obviously, the players are still tired because they played this. They just coming back from America, and they need to settle down a little bit. So physically, also, the day was very hot. But this team has got something. The winning teams has got, so let's hope they're going to be like that until the end of the season.
And once you found the pace of the game, you were well away, weren't you? You nearly set up 2 or 3 goals in the last 10 minutes.
No, yeah. It was at the beginning. It was hard because always you have to settle to the game. It's a pity because I've only started the pre-season camp 8 days ago, so I'm not certainly at my best, but. It's okay, I'm working on it, and I'm going to get better.
And I think the whole ground was just waiting for that free kick to come, and it didn't come till 2 minutes from time.
No, yeah, they were waiting, but it's a pity it was a little bit too much on the side, but the goalkeeper was a little... he didn't let the goal in, but it was okay, obviously, the goal would have been better, but it's been fantastic anyway.
Honestly, could you still do it? at this level?
I don't know. It's very difficult to say in words. I might say yes, I might say no. I might be wrong in both cases. What I think is you have to believe and try hard to make it happen. When you have got this mentality, I think everything is. I think everything is possible. So we see. This year is. I will have a very tasty season because we playing the big teams, big champions, and we are a small team. So we see. We see what happens if I can still do that or not.
Think you
I
can?
like the chant.
I've seen you probably most emotional after scoring it against Stuttgart and Stockholm, but I don't think I've ever seen you, even then, as emotional as you were today after the game and with your lap of honour.
No, I was afraid of that, honestly. When you are on the pitch and you're playing, everything goes. You focus on what you have to do on the pitch and so. But then, it was very touching for me. But I had to do that, and it's been great. I'm speechless because it's special. Really.
I think you realise there are 38,000 people out there still saying, "We love you."
No, thank you. They proved it many times, and today they did it again. And I have to say thank you very much to all of them. Thanks.